Hi there, girls and guys. I hope you're all nice and warm, and I hope you're staying safe. Yeah, these are the moves that you guys missed on Thursday evening. So I'm going to go through them one by one. And remember, when you practice them, just break them up into sectors. Don't try and get the whole move all in one, because that purely comes from practice, 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 and muscle memory. So it's good if you're training with a partner, is from your ready position, do the one move, take stock, make sure your knees are bent, make sure your feet are just over shoulders width, make sure your structure is upright, make sure you've gripped the wrist, for example. So each move I'll show you, break it down into 3-4 simple moves, practice those moves, and then you just stitch them together and it becomes one flowing process. Okay, so the first move is what we call a hook and lock. No, I'm lying, my apologies. It's called a scoop and hug. So, Joshi, a scoop and hug is used quite a bit. So I'm going to go through it from the front, and then I'm going to show you from behind, because it's a very good move that can be used if we're facing each other, or if I'm being held up from behind. But there are basics to it, so it's very important that you utilize the move effectively. And there's also some nice principles, and as you know, a large part of Krav Maga is about 16 principles that really make it very, very effective to work. So this would be an explosive attack. So we talk about explosive attacks. So for example, if there's a knife there, I would be attacking this arm. I would start off normally, please don't hurt. And as I always say, once they grab me and I would go with them, there's a knife there. So when I talk about explosive, it's this. Okay, I'm attacking that hand. So that would be part of my explosive move, followed by knee hard into the groin. At the same time, bring my attacker in. Okay, so does that confirm what I mean by explosive? Obviously, it eventually becomes one foul move, something like this, and you're in, split second. But you just need to practice to get to that level. That's why I say, if there's a knife here, this is quite a cool move, and it's an easy move. You're not relying on strength at all, but as you get better, you want to pulse it. You know what I mean by pulse? Is you want to burst into your attacker, you want to breathe out to get that extra power from your tummy, okay? And you want to always attack. Wherever you go forward, you are doing an attack. It's not like a slow dance. You're going in hard, you're going in fast, and you're hurting them. Okay, so this attack would come from the front. It's normally a mid-level attack, and there's a knife there. It's called a saber attack. You get two kinds of attacks in South Africa. One is a saber, and the other one is a pickaxe, where they basically got you here. They're going for your chest area. You can see Josh's muscle memory kicking in, and knows exactly what to do. But this is quite a heavy attack, because they've got that whole upper body to stab you. Yeah, it can be quite heavy, because they're using momentum to bring that knife in. But don't stress about that. We've got all the answers. When you see someone with a knife and they're doing this, you know they don't know how to use a knife, because that is for slashing, and slashing doesn't kill you. Because generally you've got a shirt on, in winter you've got a jacket on, and they come in here. When a guy comes like this, he means business, because he knows that's what kills you. If they put in that knife and they're making a hole in you, and it hits an organ, that's when you're in danger. And the same here, when they're bringing this in to you, that's what hurts people, not the slashing. Okay? So, low level hold up with a knife. Please don't hurt. Once again, I'll drop my hands to about here. Remember, I'm going to bring this hand down as well. So I'm going to use gravity. Most important, the knife sizes do vary. So what's key, get into the habit is, as you please don't hurt, my bum goes out. Protects my groin, especially if it's a long knife. So get into the habit of it. But what it also does is, look here. My bum goes out, it allows me to step in, okay, and now I've got a nice long stride straight into the groin. So that's also quite nice. So with the bum out here, I'm stepping and I'm coming, bang, straight through the groin. So the most important thing is to take control of the knife. Then I don't have to worry about the knife. That becomes my problem afterwards. So from that position there, I'm going out, 1. 2, I push it out. Then what I do becomes one move, as I say. I'm stepping deep, and at the same time, I'm bringing this straight up into the groin. And I'm hooking my hand on his shoulder. So I'm using him as a structure. So as I'm launching in, I'm banging in the throat, in the groin, and I'm bringing him down, which will happen anyway because I've hit him in the groin. But if I miss the groin, get used to bringing him down slightly, because the most important part now, if I turn Josh around, is once I've scooped him out like this and I'm stepping in, this arm comes up and I must come across his elbow. That means he can't bend his arm. Try and stab me, no problem, can't stab me. And if I get a small nick here, not the end of the world. But if I'm above his elbow, I've got a huge problem. You can put some holes in me or some slashes. So what's key with this move is your bum's out, you stepping in, groin, and you're bringing them into you. So once again, it's another one of our principles. We're using this as a friction lock. All that skin, all shirt on skin around his arm. So there's no ways he can get away from that. So I've got good control of his arm. Okay. From there, it's very simple. All I do is I slide down his arm. I want to pin the knife. Okay. From there, this hand comes around, over his hand, and all I do is I put my pinky on the knife, the blunt side. And then I just rotate. Once again, if I keep this hand up, I'm rotating his wrist. And what am I doing? I'm pronating it. I've got the knife here. If I want to, and I can push away. So let me just show you that again slowly. Yeah, stay. Thank you, boy. So it's please don't hurt. One, step in, bang, groin. Two, remember this is key. You either blade it this way or you blade it that way across the elbow. You can't be too low down because he's still got access to bending the elbow, and you can't be too far up. Come across that elbow, then you've got total control. This hand just comes over his hand, and all I do is I put my pinky on that knife. I slide this hand there, and then I pronate the wrist. And I'm not pulling the knife or anything. This pinky is there just to catch the knife. So as I rotate, look there, the knife comes out. Just go back a bit, Joshy, please. Go back more this way. More. Thank you. So as I'm rotating, I'm keeping the blade hand upright. As I turn, that's when I pronate his wrist, and the knife literally falls into my hand, and I've got the knife. From there, I can go back off, back into my ready position. So a very, very cool move. It's called the scoop and hug, and that is from the front. We'll go straight on to the next one, which is a scoop and hug from behind. So if you're being held up and there's a knife behind you, so what's important to remember with the knife being held up behind you is a few things. This scoop and hug is if it's from the middle of your back to this side. And the reason I'm showing you, because from here, I'm clearing. So if the knife was on this side, and I clear, look what happens. I'm cutting my whole back open. So if it's from the middle of the side here to the left side, I can turn and do the scoop and hug, because I'm clearing very quickly, in other words. So same applies. Always let your attacker see your hands. Now instead of holding them up here, we've changed the move slightly. We're actually dropping our hands here. Why? Because look, that's all I do for the clear. I'm spinning my body to the left, okay? I'm turning that way. This comes out at a 30-degree angle. So from here, I can drop my hands, one, and then me into the scoop and hug. Exactly what I showed you now. His hands out there, I'm stepping in, bang! Down his arm, take the knife, nothing changes. So let me just show you that again. So from there, just learn to drop your hands. We used to have them up here to protect your head, but in theory, it's a long way down there. So we decide to drop our arms a lot lower from here, because it's much quicker. Straight there. That's all I do, and I've cleared the knife. At the same time, I am stepping in and I'm attacking the attacker. Bang! Pulling them down. I'm moving down for the knife. My hand comes over, pinky, pronate, off you go. Scoop and hug, very effective. I've showed it to you now from the front, and I've showed it to you from behind. We will show you at a different stage a hold up from behind when it is on the right side of your body. There is a move for it. This one, remember, is if it's in the middle, or to the left. So I'm clearing this way, so it's quick. When it's this side, all that I really do from there then is I clear this way. But it's a totally different move. We'll get there next week. All right, so let me just see what the third move was we did. Yes, it was a committed ice pick hold up. So like I showed you earlier on, a dangerous, dangerous move. So if I've got Joshy coming at me, and when I say committed, it means someone stepping towards you to do the move. So the most important thing, as you know, clear, control, counter. So Joshy would have the knife. I might not have time to get my hands up because it's committed. So it means you could be walking from there, and as I'm here, that knife comes up. But I get into the habit anyway. If I see someone coming towards me, I automatically lift my hands. Because there's two things I can do. I can either block or I can counter. So if you're ready for it, you can see it coming, get your hands up. If not, as it comes in, put your hands up. So the most important thing here, guys, clear. As Joshy comes in, step to the side. I clear. No threat, in theory, but I want to control it too. Because remember, he's not going to stand there. Once I've got out of the way, he can move this different angles and still stand me. So what I'm doing from there is, as it comes in, I step to the side and I grab his wrist. So once again, I'm stepping left, I'm pushing the knife to the right. From there, this elbow just comes straight up, and that is a friction lock, nice and tight. What's important here though, guys and girls, is when I'm stepping in, make sure you step deep. If you don't and I step shallow, there's a very good chance that's going to happen and I'm in serious problems. So always get used to, we can do the same move if we step a lot deeper. Look, something like this, clear. See, I'm nice and deep, which is cool. All I then do is I fold my arms over each other. It's a hook and lock now, guys. And I move this down to there. And he ain't going anywhere. My knees are bent, my posture's upright, my weight's evenly balanced, and that's where I am. So I've got wrist on wrist on wrist. Then I grab his hand, and once again, I just put my pinky on his knife, because look here, this hand's going to do all the work for me. As I turn, I pronate him, and I can take the knife out. So it's all about pronating the wrist. And that's where the wrist on wrist comes. So what's most important here is as you turn, keep that wrist vertical. The moment you drop it down there, there's a gap and they're out, and you've got a serious problem. So let's just move it a bit more. Yes, from there. Thank you. So when it comes in, 1, clear, step, 2, 3, over, 4. Nice balance. I'm down into my knees. I've got good control. From there, I put my pinky on the knife and I just face the other wall. So my right leg keeps still. I pivot on it. My left leg does a complete 180 and I finish up facing the wall behind me. So that's very important, guys. I'm clearing like this, and about there, his hand opens. And he can't fight it, because he's pronating the wrist. I've got the knife. Your call, can stab him if you want to. I always believe if there's multiple attackers, I'll stab him in the bum. A lot of your nerve endings end up there. It's very, very painful, and it bleeds quite a bit. And I'd say, back off, and I've got control of the knife. Okay, so a very, very simple move. Let me show it to you without the knife in the hand. From here, step 1 is I'm clearing. See, I've stepped to the left and I've pushed his hand to the right. Step 2, this comes up. So I'm locking his arm into the crook of my elbow. Step 3, I'm just folding my arms and I'm bringing that all together on this side. So my left arm is in front of my right arm. But it's my wrist, on his wrist, on my chest. If you want to, you can breathe in, make your chest bigger, because that means you've got more friction. So there's a far better lock, especially with a big individual. What's very important too, though, is your legs, make sure they're bent. Once again, if you're standing upright with straight legs and your attacker pulls you, you're off balance, you're going to fall. So always make sure you're in a nice loose posture like this and you're relaxed. So it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4. And as I bring this down, I bend my knees, and you can see I've opened my legs a bit, even wider. So it's difficult for them to move me. My pinky goes over the blade. My right foot stays where it is, and my left foot just comes all the way around. Back off. Okay. Cool. Enjoy the videos, practice hard, and we'll be in touch next week. Enjoy the long weekend. Have fun. The next Gunda song I'm going to show you is what we call the bicycle wheel. Because it generally reflects a bicycle wheel. And that defense is against a high level or head hold up. Also very common in South Africa. Once again, yeah, I'm dead. I don't have enough space to clear. I've got to clear a whole half meter to the side, but then he turns the gun and he shoots me. So once again, he'll be close. We'll check my pockets, and when he says you're coming with me, that's exactly when we strike. So it's a very, very simple move. With the hook and lock, the gun was down here, so my hands were down there too. With the gun being higher, I lift my hands. Okay. Don't lift them too high because it's too far to come back and it's too far to come up. So once again, I don't want to scare Josh or my attacker. I want him to feel comfortable. So if I get maybe a bit more of an angle like this, is that comfortable? Does it look like I'm too close?
No, that's fine.
That looks fine. And that's where you want to be. Starting to move the gun here, they get nervous. Remember, these guys are normally amped up. They're full of drugs. They're just as nervous. They pull that trigger, your history. So always keep it comfortable. From here, the same applies. I'm stepping to the left and I'm pushing the gun to the right. So it's the same as the hook and lock. It's all about the clear. If we don't get the clear right, we don't have to do the other two moves because you won't be able to tell the tale. So please, guys, practice the clear. From there, all I've done is my hip is coming. I'm stepping to the left. I'm pulling my shoulder away and I'm pushing the gun away. And I'm now 90 degrees to my attacker. From there, this hand just comes straight up like a duck ball. I pronate his wrist and he'll let go. So there is a bit of a trick here if you want to use it. It's called a bicycle wheel, which means you turn it in the shape of a bicycle wheel, which is cool. However, if you want to use a bit of your body weight, your upper body weight, which is your shoulder, you are welcome to do it, especially against a big attacker. Remember, we've only got one chance to get this gun out of the hand. So from here, same applies, move to the left, clear, one. Now I'm bringing my shoulder into it to assist and to give me more power. We don't need it. The technique is in the wrist here. I'm pronating the wrist that way. So once again, no matter how hard he holds it, I will break that lock. However, if you've got a big hook, okay, and you want to double make sure that you can get it out of his hands, especially for the smaller petite woman, bring that shoulder in. Obviously roll with the gun, don't leave the gun behind, you can have a piston in your shoulder, but you're rolling with the gun, using that shoulder in, out it comes. Keep it here, away from any other attacker, close to me, back him off, put the gun forward, we tap it to make sure that the magazine is in properly, we rack it to make sure there's a bullet from the magazine that jumps to the barrel. If there was one there, it would jump out, which is fine. We then aim it at the attacker, get down, get down. We bring it in to our bodies, and then I look left, I look straight behind me to make sure there's no one behind me to the left, and I do the same to the right. Easy move. Have fun, and we'll get on to the next one.